So let's do this thing. Rich Clune. Rich Clune was a Toronto Maple Leaf this past year. He's now stood up too early. He's all eager. Okay, Rich, why don't you come up here? Rich, of course. Is he behind me now? Is he there? There he is.
Oh, is this on?
This is on. Hey, Rich, why don't you sit down?
You want me to sit down?
I want you to sit down.
What is this? What is that?
I know it's the off season, so I don't know how well you'll be able to do it.
What's up, Woodstock? Yeah!
Rich is my boy. Actually, he could be my boy, but he's not my boy. My boy is Corey, and he's not here. But Rich is my boy because Rich is one of the guys that stepped up, stood out, shared, and has changed lives. Rich Clune, why don't you start with your story, and then I'll ask you some important questions.
Thanks, brother. Anyways, let's have another round for Mike. He's the leader here. Good friend of mine. Thank you.
Oh, you?
This is so powerful to see this whole community come out and stand up together. I mean, I'm just like overwhelmed with how this has come together. I'm extremely grateful and honored that I was asked by Mike to come and be a part of the event.
Yeah, get on with the story, okay?
Can you relax,
you've
man?
kissed their ass. You've kissed my ass. Who's next? Seriously. Oh, hold on. Mike Babcock is here. That would be a good ass to kiss.
All right. He's the one guy I let talk to me like that. I grew up in Toronto, not too far from here, and I'll be quick with this. I grew up playing sports, and I had tons of friends, and I have 2 younger brothers. I come from a great family, and my family did everything they can to provide for my brothers and I. And I always had this dream to be an NHL hockey player, and it's taken me to a lot of different places over Canada and the U.S. And I had this dream, and I've always worked hard, and I was following this dream, and there's just there was always just something bothering me, and I can remember from a young age, like very young, my early teens and maybe even before that, I always was a little insecure, and I felt like I had sort of a hole inside of me, and I didn't know how to fill it, basically. And I struggled as a teenager, mainly in silence for a long time. And a couple years ago, I kind of came out public in the media when I was in Nashville. I'm a recovering alcoholic, and I just celebrated 6 years of sobriety. And thank you. And I suffered in silence for a long time as a teenager and in my early 20s. And everything that goes along with that, I had extreme bouts of depression, massive anxiety, and I didn't know what was going on. I just knew something was wrong. And eventually, my family sort of intervened, and it was a long process, but I eventually broke down and was welcomed and received help, and I was open to getting help. And I could sit here and talk to you all day about what recovery looks like and what I think it should entail, but I know there's one thing that recovery isn't and doesn't look like, and you can't do it alone. And like the Sick Not Weak cause, that's the message, is you can't do this alone. And I'm extremely, happy to be here and see all you guys come together. And if you're struggling out there with anything, addiction, mental health, you have a friend, it's yourself, you can't do this alone. Don't be afraid to ask for help, and don't be afraid to accept help. People are here for you. And I'm very, very happy to be here. And this is an amazing evening we had planned, so thank you for having me.
So, Rich.
There, was that short enough for you there?
Well, that's why
you just asked me to bare my soul in 4 minutes, and you're giving me a hard time.
Okay, well.
It's all good. This is how we show love for each other.
This is how men show love. They insult each other. So, Rich, American Hockey League, how's that going? That was my insult to you because you, of course, played in the NHL too, but you guys made a great run at the Calder Cup, right?
Yeah, that's.
And let me ask you a skill testing question, trivia. Who scored the game-winning goal in the series that put you into the final series? Who scored that game-winning goal, Rich Clune?
Your guy.
Yeah!
Ace of Hearts, Dickie Clune.
When you were 16, 17, 18, you were a star hockey player, right? I mean,
he's a star.
I mean, every guy who makes the NHL was a star probably at one time, right? The guys who stay in the NHL as opposed to go to the American Hockey League were bigger stars, right? See, that's why.
I'm making a comeback, Landsberg. Let it be known, all right?
But when you were the star athlete, you're an attractive guy, you look like you had everything going for you, people would look at you and think your life is easy. And that's such a mistake. Would you agree, looking at other people and deciding life is easier for them because they appear to have it all together because you were acting, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was suffering so bad on the inside, and especially, you know, as an athlete and a man, you're raised, and I grew up in like an Irish Catholic household. I don't know if any of you can relate to that.
Any Irish Catholic households here?
You know, you're taught not to be weak, and you're taught not to show weakness, and you're not supposed to make yourself vulnerable. And you know, that's all BS, man. Like if you're hurting inside, you got to put your hand up. And I suffered so long in silence, but you know, eventually, I got help. I was lucky, and you know, everyone here. I mean, like I said, don't be afraid to ask for help. That's it. Thank you for having me, guys. Enjoy the evening.